So something about the business journey, if you could tell us.
This business we envisaged and started in May of 2020. We have been aware of this business. As a matter of fact, individually, we have been a part of this business much earlier.
Currently, Mr. Ambashankar, if you could tell us what are the number of aircrafts do we have? Like, what is the fleet size we currently operate with? I mean, if you could give us a broad idea.
We are currently operating 3 aircrafts, one on dry lease and 2 on wet lease.
Mr. Kannan, just a broad number, if you could tell us that now with these 3 aircrafts, how many customers could we have been catered to? Because the top line is about 193 crores.
We have serviced more than 35, 36 unique clientele so far.
Welcome friends, my name is Avinash Gorakshakar and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, as all of you are aware, these episodes help us understand emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of such companies so that all of us can understand the company's business operations, their business model, their growth journey, their future growth plans. And in this process, investors get a lot of valuable information which makes them take a very conscious investment call here. And friends, today we have got a very interesting company which operates in a very niche space. And the company's name is FlySBS Aviation Limited. And I have the privilege of having Captain Deepak Parshuraman, who is the managing director of the company. Captain, welcome to the show and thank you for your valuable time. We have Mr. Kannan Ramakrishnan, who is the director of the company. Mr. Kannan, welcome to you also. And we also have Mr. Ambashankar, who is the director and the CEO of the company. Mr. Ambashankar, thank you very much for you also for sparing your valuable time. Without wasting time, Captain, a very basic question, like this is a very interesting business which you people have started. How did this business journey actually fructify? How did this idea touch upon that this could be a business for you to enter? So something about the business journey, if you could tell us. And then you could tell us how this business actually operates. What's the broad business model?
Sure, sir. So, this business we started in May of 2020. We have been aware of this business. As a matter of fact, individually, we have been a part of this business much earlier. While the business in a nutshell, private jet on charter for clients. This was till 2016, 17 was very niche to the ultra rich, these celebrities and the top politicians. However, come COVID and go. There a very large diaspora is entered into this market because earlier nobody ventured with thinking of this beyond their peak. Number one. Second, there was no awareness of using a private jet on charter. Once COVID came, people wanted to be extremely safe. They started exploring is it possible to charter a plane, and then they realized that this is very well within their reach and affordability, which is what brought a large market into this business. Once this market stabilized, naturally the demand to supply ratio got completely skewed and is huge. The supply is very limited, and this wide gap for the large business opportunity we could get into. So we started this business in May of 2020 and became operational September of 2020.
Yeah. Okay. I think the second question, Mr. Ambashankar, since you are the CEO of the company, this question could be added to you that in your sense, typically, if you could tell us, what is the kind of broad runway you see for this business? Like, Captain has said that, this business is a business where there's limited supply and huge demand. So in your own words, how could you describe this business, say, over the next, say, 3 to 5 years? What is the total addressable market and how are we positioned here? Since you are the CEO, some perspective from your side would be really good.
Well, thank you, Mr. Avinash. Now, we see a huge potential in the market. As on today, if you ask me, there is a huge demand from the consumer side, but whereas the supply is not all that great to cater to those demands right away. But of course, the market is improving. There are more aircrafts coming into the country, And when the Indian aviation overall Indian aviation growing at a much rapid pace, we see a huge potential for this. In the coming years, with the adding of more fleets, more aircrafts to our fleet, we see a huge potential of becoming a pan-India player.
Okay.
And as the market is concerned, with the clients, there are a lot of first-time clients who are experiencing private jet flying through us, and we see this only to grow further and to next levels.
Okay. Currently, Mr. Ambashankar, if you could tell us what are the number of aircrafts do we have? Like, what is the fleet size we currently operate with? I mean, if you could give us a broad idea.
We are currently operating 3 aircrafts, one on dry lease and 2 on wet lease. And this is the current fleet, and we are planning to add another 6 more aircrafts to our fleet to become a pan-India player.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, Captain, this question is largely targeted to you. Like, I could, if Mr. Kannan could also answer this. Sir, what is the target audience? Because, I was reading one of your presentations and your prospectus. We are basically targeting the ultra HNI population who want to take the experience of private jet chartered aircrafts. So is this a ultra HNI kind of opportunity, or even mid-sized corporates are also coming in, for their top-end employees or maybe their top-end executives, so they can also use this facility? So how is this market being targeted by you? Is it only these two segments, or you could also look at smaller kind of mid-sized corporates also maybe going forward who could be customers? So if you could please share your thoughts.
No, as I told you, sir, the large market has grown in post-COVID. There is a mid-sized corporates, the MSMEs, the trading companies. They have all come to become large users of this aircraft. So anywhere they spend between 2 crores to 10 crores in a year is easily affordable to them. And we are open, sir. We are not close to any form of customer. We are open to all of them. The requirements vary from this to this. The requirements vary. We are open to all of them. But however, we are not able to service everybody because, as I said, asset is limited. There is an objective of increasing our number of assets to be able to cater to more.
Just to add, it is just not only the high net worth individuals. I would put it simply that, people who have a need to travel but still value the time more than the money, we are the right choice for them.
Okay. No, I think very rightly said by you. So there's a huge runway available. There's no doubt about it. Sir, I was also reading, Mr. Kannan, that we have got various packages, in one of your presentations and the prospectus, we have said that, you all have got customized packages, for various category of customers. So if you could just dwell upon that so that, it will help us understand how we are able to, take this to the next level in terms of people getting the best value for money for this proposition.
So private jet flying is just not, offering on-demand charter. It is just beyond that aspect. And in the developed countries, there are a lot of, customized, the product offerings are there. And in India, because of the shortage of assets and, high demand, such concepts were not introduced. So we are trying to address that. We are trying to bring in, some Westernized concepts whereby certain programs will make the reach of this private jet flying, more easier and accessible for a larger, set of people who have the need as well as an ability to get into such, services.
Okay. So understood. Mr. Kannan, just a broad number, if you could tell us that now with these 3 aircrafts, how many customers could we have been catered to? Because, the top line is about 193 crores. Broadly, if you could tell us some number, how many customers have we actually catered to, if it is possible?
So we have, to just put the numbers, we have serviced more than, 35, 36 unique clientele so far. But one interesting fact is, close to 90% of our revenue has come out of the repeat clients.
Okay. I think that is very good because repeat business means that, your credibility is very well established. People like the service, so they come again. Captain, now one important question, what is the availability of these aircrafts? Like, are they available easily, or got to do a lot of proper searching, proper technical, qualities and capabilities of that aircraft? So, on the availability side, what is the global scenario? Because I believe, these aircrafts are taken either on dry or wet lease, and then they are deployed into, action. So first is, what is the availability and how difficult is it to source these aircrafts? And is there any other competitor also who is competing in the same space with us?
So there are three things. As far as this availability of is concerned, availability is a challenge, and that is what brings our strength. And availability also means that you ensure that the asset is in a proper condition, but it gets end up in undue expenses just standing on the ground. So availability is a key challenge. Established being in the business for long gives the required network. Of course, technical expertise is critical to evaluate the asset from the documentation, tracing it back to birth, traceability, down to taking down to the nuts and bolts of that aircraft and test flying, so forth. That technical expertise is very critical success factor to get the right asset. So that is one. Now, as far as competition is concerned, yeah, there are 5 or 6 operators in the country who are competition. But as I said, we wouldn't look at it as competition for two specific reasons. One is that the demand is much higher than the supply. That's a nice part. And second is the focus on service standards, then just making an aircraft able to go from point A to point B, which is well established with the fact that 90% of our revenue comes from repeat customers.
Correct. Okay. Captain, now one thing I wanted to also understand is that typically, do we have a dynamic pricing policy? I think Mr. Ambashankar can also answer this. Sir, if you could tell me, typically, for some customers who have got, consistent requirements with us, like repeat business, Mr. Kannan mentioned, do we have a dynamic pricing policy based on the fuel price, based on the utilization of the aircraft? How does the pricing work? Like typically, because fuel costs possibly are the biggest component, and obviously the pilot cost, the other, fixed cost. So is this pricing decided in advance based on the customer's requirement, or do we have a dynamic policy as and when the fuel price increases, the pricing also changes?
Yeah, see, by and large, pricing is driven by the market. I mean, for certain cabin size, the what do you call, the prices are determined by the market offerings. But of course, there are a bit of customization also happens if the client goes on a longer trip, international trip, understanding their requirement and the number of touchdowns what their plan requires. The pricing is customized and offered to the client.
Okay, right. So basically, it's like a customized and basically a negotiated accommodative kind of pricing based on the customer's requirements, right?
Yes.
Captain, one question which got left out. I just wanted to understand, when we take a aircraft on dry lease, and now these 6 aircrafts that Mr. Ambashankar was saying, are these all going to come on dry lease? And secondly, what is the time duration we have taken these aircrafts? What would be the broad duration of the dry lease like?
So all the aircraft, 6 aircrafts will be purely on dry lease. The entire objective is to move the business up total dry lease model. The duration is between 5 to 6 years of dry lease of each of these aircraft.
Okay, understood. Captain, one more thing which I think is important, since you are one of the founder promoters of the company. What is it that makes the customers come and give us repeat business? Like, what is the value add we do? Like you said, there are 5, 6 other operators also who are in the same business. But then obviously, there are some value add which we do better than the other companies in the sector. So, on the qualitative side, what is it that FlySBS does better than these guys, and what is it that customers are happy about us? So if you could share 2, 3 qualitative points for us, which can help us understand you better.
Absolutely, sir. What happens is that, as we said, we don't look at it as a pure aviation business transporting people from point A to point B. This is a combination of two businesses. That it is an aviation business, but more than that, it's a luxury business. So
Yeah.
it is all about the experience of life on a private jet. The quotient for detail, the focus on the customer's requirement, that his requirement, the objective of taking the private jet is met, and this becomes an experience which he wants to live over and over again. That is we focus on.
Okay. And I think very nicely articulated by you, Captain. Now let's come to the financials. Mr. Kannan, if you can help me understand this, I mean, numbers have been pretty solid. FY25, 193 crores compared to 106 crores. Profit after tax, 28 crores compared to 11 crores. So, first of all, what was the key reason for this, improvement? I mean, we had 3 aircrafts and obviously better management, better throughput must have happened. But broadly, how did the numbers significantly change? Top line has also improved, bottom line has almost more than doubled. So what could be the key reasons for this? If you could please tell us.
The key reason for this, jump is the addition of our dry-lease aircraft into our fleet. Our first dry-lease aircraft got added to our fleet by mid of December 2023. So in FY24, its contribution was only for 3 months actually. And at FY25, the whole year, the dry-lease aircraft, flown, and it has flown, to a good extent. And its contribution has, helped, the growth of the financials. Apart from that, expansion of, our lease aircraft and the long, international travel focus what we have undertaken, in the last year, that also has helped us, to grow the financials.
Okay, fine. Mr. Ambashankar, one important question which got left out, what I want to clarify from you is that are we, operating only in the Indian geographical space or even the international, kind of markets? If you could give us some flavor that which are the destinations currently the company, FlySBS actually caters.
Yeah. So while we started our initial operations in domestic, but very quickly we started doing international sectors and catering to a lot of clients both in India as well as outside India. So we have in fact traveled to 26 different countries, touching upon all the 6 continents. To tell you, we have visited there is a place in Africa, Mauritania, which is the least visited country in the world, and our aircraft has also gone there. And we have gone as far as Australia, New Zealand, and beyond, even up till Fiji Islands on the east. And on the northwest, we have gone up till Norway, the topmost, very close to the Arctic Ocean. There is a place called Ardulfoss, so where the temperature is -37. Our aircraft is even gone there. So we've really traveled all the 6 continents, touching upon 26 different countries.
Okay. Well, I think very nice to hear, Mr. Ambashankar, because, this is definitely a huge market, as Captain has mentioned. Now, one thing what I wanted to understand, Captain, slightly technical question, but we finance people want to understand more about the business. Typically, to keep one aircraft, operationally effective, you can say properly utilized, how many minimum flying hours do you require? Because typically, obviously the main cost is the dry lease cost. And to recover it, a minimum amount of flying hours is required. So, I don't want to understand the entire business mode, but just a simple calculation. If I want to make my aircraft profitable from day one, how many minimum number of flying hours I require that aircraft to do, maybe on a monthly basis or maybe on a daily basis, so that we could understand how the profitability kicks in.
Exactly, sir. We look at about 36 to 37 hours of flying in the large cabin to break even.
Okay.
And per month. And in the smaller cabin, a little less than that, about 30 hours.
Around 30 hours.
Okay, fine. So that is, I think, the most important thing. Kannan, now one thing I wanted to understand, now these numbers for FY25 have been rock solid. Assuming if 6 aircrafts come in, the flying hours per aircraft increase. Can we assume that as the aircrafts increase, the flying hours increase? Can we expect a increase in the operating margins going forward?
Certainly, sir. That is the whole objective. That is why we want to transition our entire fleet into the dry lease model, where it gives us more opportunity to, do a higher number of hours, and a lot of, the economics of scale can be brought into. So it also reduces our cost of operation. That's the whole idea. And obviously, as you rightly said, that, that's our objective as well.
Okay. No, I think understood. Now, the most important question for today's interview is that we plan to make an IPO very soon. So, I would like to know, what is the main objective? That is, first, of course, these aircrafts, and secondly, what is the amount of money we are planning to raise? If you could please tell us.
Sir, we are planning to raise, 100 plus crores. And the objective of this, the fundraise is to expand our fleet and we have given it in our object clause itself. We would like to add 6 more aircrafts of 3 different cabin size, and this fundraise is essentially, for us to achieve this fleet expansion.
Okay, fine. So basically, the fleet expansion is the main objective of raising this money, right?
That's right.
Okay, now, Kannan, another related question which is related to finance is the working capital side of the business. Now, typically, how does the working capital cycle work? Right from the time you get those customers, either fixed customers or maybe, ongoing customers, typically, what's the working capital cycle in the business? I'm asking this question why, Mr. Kannan, because, you got a very good, excellent EBITDA, excellent profit after tax. But I was just seeing your operating cash flows. This is a growing business. So obviously, you need to fine tune your numbers. And obviously, post the IPO, this will improve. I'm quite sure about it. But in the current scenario, we have seen that operating cash flows have been very minimal. So, what is the key reason for this? If you could please tell us.
So one of the reason for the operational cash flow seems to be lesser is because we are investing that for our expansion, and that is the reason. As you rightly said, that post IPO, you will see that the capital rise will be utilized, for the expansion of the assets. So this, this will definitely improve. And as far as your question of, the credit cycle, and generally when a newer clientele is onboarded, it's most of the times, it is money upfront, or at least to a larger, part of the trip cost is taken as an advance. But with the regular clientele, and when they are coming repeatedly to us, there are certain amount of credit, is provided. And overall, the credit cycle is within the range of 30 to 40 days at the maximum.
Okay, understood. One related question, Captain, is that, investors definitely are looking forward to this IPO because, your other group company, Appcom Holdings, has delivered very rich shareholder returns. So, broadly, what is your message to these new coming investors? Because, now they will be also joining you in your future growth journey. So, at least a small message from your side, that would be really be helpful.
Sure, we are in a very exciting time. India's economy is booming. Number of millionaires are growing by the day. So the demand to supply gap is very large. This is a great opportunity in the offing, and we are at the sunrise stage of this industry. So we are all very excited to be in this, and we welcome our investors to join in. It's going to be.
So I think investors would definitely be rewarded, Captain, because they do trust your ability and they do trust the entire management team of the company. Last question now is that, in any business, typically there are certain inherent risks also attached. So, in our business, since we are in a business which is obviously both internationally as well as domestically, related, according to you, what is the main risk which we constantly monitor? If you could please tell us on that aspect.
Sir, there is risks as such. We have good times, but the key factors which we look into is the expanding conflict, which clearly restricts certain geography of our business, like the expanding West Asian conflict is one. Otherwise, at the moment, other than keeping a track of the business or the trend of the economy, is where we are. So we find our focus markets there.
Okay. No, I think you rightly mentioned, Captain, that the runway is a very large runway for us because in India, private charting, businesses just started. So the opportunity to grow is immense. So anyway, Captain, Mr. Kannan and Mr. Ambashankar, it was a pleasure for me to talk to you. And please accept my best wishes to you, your entire management team, and sir, best wishes for the forthcoming public issue also. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.